I didn't have a clear idea from the outset what David would do. But the idea of having something like a Schubertiad, a sort of party Schubert had with his friends where his music was played, I thought that was a good idea, and to sort of hype that up and make it slightly unreal. Free and Barnet Hospital had lots of attractions, but in the end it was derelict. It was going to be very difficult to bring a piano in. It was full of pigeons. So Ian and David together decided to try and recreate the atmosphere.
Man alone in a big space. The difficulty is to try and make a space that is that big feel private. That there is a chimney breast like that, which breaks away so that we can, if you're doing this corridor, you can take that chimney breast away and light the windows through there.
I understood it there, this whole idea of going into the corridor and blah, 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 just because it was there in Freer and Barnet as a real place. But now, as a sort of more abstract concept, or is
that's the question though, is how much are we abstracting? Because that room is not so difficult that one couldn't reproduce it pretty faithfully, I think. There's nothing very difficult.
We're not talking about abstracting it, we're talking about making a realistic space. But
So therefore, like Free and Barnet, you turn the corner and you're in a corridor. Like that. I mean, that's...
No, it's perfectly possible to do that, and it makes sense. And I know the place in the songs where he would escape from this place and then where he would come back to this place. Yeah.
When he goes back, he should, he's different, therefore the room's different.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So what is it when he comes back?
I have no idea. I don't know what's the difference? How's he different?
That's the problem. And I mean, he does change tremendously. And the end of the piece has a very different emotional temperature from the beginning. And he's changed tremendously. And you get this sense of a man who's much more suffered and matured and totally somewhere else.
Yeah.
Somebody can be doing a Schubertiad in an abandoned space where they used to happen. And now he's returning obsessively to there and making his private sort of Schubertiad, and then to phantoms, or to nobody, or people could then appear during it. So there's a kind of psychotic song recital. No? It doesn't have to be done beautifully. It doesn't have to be stand there in basically evening wear, next to the piano the way they do. It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or is it? Or is it a bit cliche?
I fear.
It's that too.
I fear that cliche, and I fear, the cliche that is potentially within that. I also fear the cliche of the rather beautiful, if slightly derelict room with someone playing piano and someone singing. Because
That's nice. What's wrong with that? Isn't that how we're going to do it?
Yeah. But how do we stop it being boring for 24 songs? And how do we stop it, the image kind of being
we have to make
romantic and
we have to make it keep going. No, it's not going to be beautifully lit all the time and warm and sort of... You mean just the fact that it's music written in 1826 or something by its nature is rather beautiful in a way. Well, it's tough. Schubert is beautiful. What can we do?
There was a great sense of relief once we turned up and saw the set, because we could go in and just work and get it sussed out.
So we finished, it'll have skirtings on it, it'll have these big windows.
Right.
And there'll be a ceiling that comes to where it implies that, where it kicks up. The ceiling
and then there's this damn grand piano in the middle of it, which we just don't get at all. What the hell are we going to do about that, son? Now I hate the way it looks in here today.
It's a bit small.
It's a bit small.
I know, I mean the piano is...
We hate the piano.
A worry in here.
It should be more like a beautiful, not a forte piano, but a beautiful antique grand piano made of wood with inlay and everything that sort of makes more sense in this kind of space.
What you need to do is buy the piano for £50,000 and then you can do what you like to the outside of it.
We just cut
strip it. We could just dip it in Nitramore or something.
Is that? And then put things, even have things on it.
Then we get things on it.
Books.
And then there's crows, hundreds of crows all over it and all over you.
Yeah.
And Julius in a crow suit.
Yeah. And then you're in a crow suit, so
yeah.
We've covered most of it.
We're worried about you doing the pedals with the crow's feet, but
Well, I've been practicing my flapping.
The key to the
I imagined I was going to be superimposed flying through the air on the black piano.
The problem is now in here. See this idea comes more from Freer and Barnett, where there, that being such a sort of modern wrecked place, the idea of a rather cool modern piano made sense. This, as you see now, this is somewhat more aesthetic.
Yeah. We went into Freer and Barnett. It was a beautiful room, but actually there was a horribleness about it. Once this has been horrified,
then maybe the
piano will fit in properly.
The tension will.
Because at the moment it's rather beautiful.
The aesthetic tension will come back.
Is there another little room, or is it all one?
well, we're discussing that at the moment. I mean, certainly there is another place you will go to do the hut scenes.
There's a giant empty whiteness out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll all be made white.
Right.
It'll all be white. So there'll be a giant emptiness outside this.
And it's not real as much as this is real. You know, it's not. This is just
We had a problem with symbols in the film, I think. The way props act as symbols, because they can be, on the one hand, too obvious and a bit naff, or at the other extreme they can be so obscure that nobody knows what's going on, and I think we needed to find the sort of the middle route between those two extremes.
we're watering it down.
Can I borrow someone's revolver? For heaven's sake. Helen? Your
Call yourself
revolver?
an artist?
Your revolver. Your pearl-handled lady's revolver. For those special nights out. Oh, and a banana.
Don't play with that revolver, it's loaded. Banana.
This is good for the revolver.
A knife is better.
Yeah, a knife is good too. It's more romantic. The revolver is colder and it's more modern. There.
Will do. Maybe a skull is attacking.
It's too obvious. Knife is cool.
So what should we do?
I don't know, I'm just thinking, what else is there?
Okay. Other than this.
This is also it's very obvious in the way he hitting pieces of the tree of death.
Yeah.
And he brings them and he puts them on. It'll be artistic,
Yeah.
wouldn't it? Let's try that.
Okay.
You know, just as something to do. Ich suche Schnee vergeben.
Frozen numbness.
Frozen numbness. Strangely unknown.
Yes.
The candle. Like the altar. The tree. The candle. Picture of the wedding.